All right, Mason is in. We're testing audio now.
Testing 1, 2, 3. Testing 1, 2, 3.
Testing 4, 5, 6. Testing 4, 5, 6. I got a thumbs up.
Good. Okay.
I call the June 3rd, 2026 Umatilla County Umatilla County Board of Commissioners meeting to order and our Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thanks, everyone, and thank you, everyone, for being here today. I do want to remind everyone that this is a public meeting and can be viewed virtually, will be recorded and put on our website. Any awards, recognitions, or correspondence? Cindy? Commissioner Simmons? Commissioner Schaefer? No. I have none. Approval of previous meeting minutes from May 6th, May 18th, and May 20th, 2026. What's the wish?
I move to approve the minutes as presented.
Second. Been a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. This time I do want to let everyone know we will have an opportunity for public input. If you have something that is not on the agenda today that you would like to address to the commissioners, please feel free at this time. Hold it. Any additions to the agenda? Feel free at this time to come up, state your name and address, and you'll be given 3 minutes to address the commissioners. Is there any public input this morning? Seeing none, let's move on to the business items. Our first business items is our budget adoption. This is a public hearing. We'll move into public hearings. And at this time, is there any declarations of conflicts or conflict of interest? None.
Actually, you all do.
Mm-hmm.
You all have actual conflict. But by law, you just go ahead and declare that you have a financial conflict because you are voting on your own salaries. However, by law, you just pay and adopt.
What he said.
I do have a conflict of interest.
Okay.
I have a direct financial
I have-
conflict.
I have a conflict of interest also, and duly noted all three commissioners.
Thank you for catching that, Doug.
Yes, thank you. At this time, turn it over to the CFOs and the presentation of the 2027 budget.
Morning, Commissioners. Robert Paul, CFO, Umatilla County.
Jason Jensen, CFO, Umatilla County.
In April, the Budget Committee approved the budget that is before you for adoption today. Willing to answer any questions. I believe you all have a copy. If you have questions, I'd be happy to address them.
I have no questions.
I don't have any questions. I just have a comment. I appreciate all the work that went into this, not only from your department, but I appreciated the presentations from all the departments during the budget hearings. I always think that's interesting, and I enjoy going through the budget process. I know it's a lot of work, so thank you.
I voice the same thing as Commissioner Timmons. It's a core function of the commissioners, and it's one that I think that all three of us take seriously and participate in as much as we can. So thank you guys. So at this time, I'd ask for any public comment in favor, opposed, neutral. Comments from commissioners? None? Come out of the public hearing back into our regularly scheduled Board of Commissioners meetings. And what are the wishes of the commissioners?
I'd move to adopt budget order 2027-01.
Second.
There's been a motion and a second to adopt the budget order 2027-01. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None. Thank you guys very much for all the work. Thank you. Absolutely. Next, Sarah, a BLM update. Welcome, Sarah.
Thank you, Commissioners. Good morning. Good morning, everyone. For those that don't know me, I'm Sarah Sherman. I'm the field manager for the Baker field office, located in Baker City, for the Vail District Bureau of Land Management. I'm here just to give you some updates on what we're working on. So we're very busy with our administrative priorities of mineral and energy development right now, mostly located in Baker County, so you'll see us working. Finding plans of operation, the Boardman to Hemingway transmission line that's going through the area. We're diligently working on those. A project that's near and dear to our hearts is the South Fork of the Walla Walla ACEC Access Restoration Project. So as you guys know, we finished our environmental assessment for restoring access to this area. The analysis is done, but we're still working with consultation through the Section 7 Endangered Species Act with the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service, as well as the National Marine Fisheries Service, NOAA. That process is taking a bit, right? Their administrative priorities. Fish and Wildlife Service, we've been able to coordinate with them, give them a draft of what we're proposing in our biological assessment. They've given us comments. We've worked through those comments. We're waiting for the National Marine Fisheries Service to address our draft proposal as well. They've let us know that it's not on their priority list. So we're working to get it on their priority list.
It's
Making
not
sure-
on their priority list.
That's what we've been told. So we're working to make sure that they understand the importance of this project. So,
Anybody that complains to me about how long it took the Thorn Hollow Bridge to get completed, I'm just going to point them your direction. Say, hey, look.
hey, look, yes, exactly. So we're still working on it. We can't move forward on a decision, and we can't move forward with implementing it until we have that consultation. Sorry, it's still languishing. We're still working to move forward. Need those partners.
So Sarah,
Please, yes.
yeah, you and I have talked about this. So that means what? That we go back to the original management plan in the interim, or what?
Yeah.
Walk us through that.
Yes, right. We've been working on this project for quite some time, since the 2020 flood. And the project swayed from being really big in scope, where we're trying to address a lot of concerns and issues through the management plan, where we landed in January of this year, which is just focusing on restoring access to the trailhead. So management plan still stands. We're really just pushing on rebuilding that road to the trailhead. That's your question.
Kind of.
Kind of.
Okay, so the management plan has a lot of things that BLM is tasked to do, and the lack of those things getting done got us to where we are today. What is BLM doing now to address all of the tasks that are assigned to it in that management plan?
Yes. So we have a park ranger. He's also our river ranger. He patrols most of our counties to the north. He gets out there at least once a month to make those contacts with visitors, mostly on the weekends, right? Especially as we go into the busy season. We're
But
trying
he's
to.
there once a month.
He's there at least once a month. We now have a law enforcement ranger. I hope I mentioned the last time I was here, but his name's Kurt Hampy. He's over coming from Enterprise. He's been on the district for at least 6 months now, and he also goes up there once a month, if not more. If there's any concerns, please let us know. We can increase those patrols.
It would be good to have both of their contacts. I think I have them, but
Okay.
if these guys don't, it would be both.
I know.
But that still doesn't address the management portion of the park, the tasks that are identified there. I mean, the monitoring and enforcement. So those are the two parts that you have. What about the rest of the management plan? The trails, all of that.
Right. Okay, so let's talk about the trails for a second. We manage the road from Harris Park to the trailhead. That is Balaam Road. That's the access we're looking to. After the trailhead, the road turns into a Forest Service road. We're in communication with the Forest Service as far as their reroute that they'd like to make outside of what we.
But in the management plan, you're responsible for the Forest Service right away.
It's interesting, right? Like they have a right of way that was
Yeah.
established before the ACEC was. And so we manage it, but we're in conversations of what they want to do because ultimately they're the ones that go do the work.
So that conversation.
They're working through their cultural surveys that they need to get done. Once the cultural surveys are complete, we have a chance to review and do consultation on those with the tribes, as well as the State Historic Preservation Office. We're looking to do what we call a categorical, really short, sweet, make this super easy so they can be on their way and get to actually doing the trail work.
And what's the schedule on that?
They're still doing the cultural survey, so once they get the surveys done, consultation for the State Historic Preservation Office takes 30 days.
Okay.
Once we have concurrence, we can move forward.
As long as you don't need to do a full-blown NEPA process.
We got a new NEPA guidance. We got an addition of 400 of these categorical exclusions that other departments and agencies use. We're now allowed to use those, which really opens our doors to not having to do complex NEPA unless it's asked of us, right? Public involvement. If you all see that it's important to have that piece, we can do it. Otherwise, like, keep it short and sweet.
What is the status of the access for the landowners? You take care of the Forest
Yeah.
Service. Where are we with the landowners?
Yeah, so I was able to meet with Becca and Kurt Woody
Yeah.
several months ago, and we had a conversation that was unfortunately kind of hard, right? Being that they've had access. I want the landowners up there to have true rights, which is through the right-of-way process and our realty regulations.
So, but have you had a conversation with the landowners, not just the Woodies, but have you brought all the
Woodies were
landowners
only
together?
ones that responded to my letter when we went out with the final EA. We said,
But-
this is our decision. They were the ones to respond.
But you haven't invited them to have a meeting.
Not all of them, no, I haven't. Like I said, I wrote them all a letter,
I guess our conversation, I was confused. You said that you had a meeting with the landowner.
just the weddings.
You know, really, it's, I think it's kind of sad because you have property owners up there. I mean, they're in their late 90s and they've had that land for decades and they can't get to their own cabin.
Yes,
I mean, that's too bad.
yes. At least through our record search, the deeds to their properties never established easement. And so
That's your research.
We're looking, that is, and
Yeah.
until someone can show me something else, that's all I have, right?
I
So,
think a lot of things have been shown to you that may or may not have.
yeah, I've given the records to the solicitor, so they still side with us that we really want to
I
preserve their
hope our
rights.
lawyers side with us too.
So they're not going to be getting into their cabins in the next year.
So there was a plan to make a time window for them to be able to cross and get in. Where are we with that?
I need a route to show them where they want to go. Is what they would like. I'd like to preserve those rights through a right of way. Very well documented. We can do that. But right, we walked down this road and then we started assigning stipulations that felt uncomfortable. And we really need the landowners to see what they want for the best for them. And if it's not what they want,
But you
right?
haven't, I
I can't
guess,
make
Sarah,
rules
my
for it.
frustration is you have not invited them to the table. They've participated for the last several years at every corner. But when it was done, they haven't heard from you as an invitation to sit down with the landowners.
The invitation's in the letter. And if I right, like
Like,
I can make myself available, but to what end? I don't know if I necessarily have the time to.
I think that
But
that
if
would
they
be a
want
very
to-
high priority for you to do that. I really do.
I do have a question. You're going to think this is odd, but did you send them a letter in the mail or did you
It
send
was
them an
certified
email?
mail.
It was, okay. Thank you.
It was the same that.
Okay. Thank you.
And I know it's not all in there. I take it out on you if I do, but there are rules and stuff, but just being a common neighbor would be great.
Yeah.
I think that would go a million miles. You invite the tribes to meetings. They're your neighbors.
We hear from these folks quite regularly.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And as you can imagine, they're our constituents and we want to do what's best in their best interest. So that's why we're so concerned. And we just want to make sure that, you know, like Commissioner Doran just said, that they get an invitation to have these discussions. So,
Other things beyond.
Yes, absolutely. Good neighbor. Making sure you're all aware that we have received an application for a data center outside of. We're reviewing the application, making sure it's something that could go forward by our regulations, doing some baseline needs assessments, looking at landscape. So it's being proposed, the electricity that they're looking to use for the data center would be coming from local power to be coming in. They're proposing to use municipal water as their water source. So I wanted to make sure you were aware of that. This is through Copia Digital LLC. So again, maybe they're reaching out to you, but if they're not and you want more information, please let me know. Right, this is probably going to be a very large project, and I want to make sure the county commissioners are involved in every step they want to be. So please let me know what I can.
Thank you. Other things.
Yeah. Again, hopefully you've heard about our new Department of the Interior Fire Service Agency. BLM firefighters no longer work for BLM. We're still very close, but they have rolled into one agency with National Park Service, U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service, Bureau. Now they're one big group. Authorities have also changed, so that new agency has a lot of the authorities that you would see coming from an agency administrator like myself. My role is going to look a little bit different this fire season. I'm going to be more or less an agency representative, making sure our relationships and our partnerships during these events stay solid, but I'm not going to be the one making the decisions on the ground. That's going to come from the agency. So if you have questions, have concerns, please reach out to me. I might not know the answer, but we'll work.
And that agency is based in Boise.
No, that's our National Interagency Fire Center. I don't think they technically have a home quite yet. They're still
Okay.
figuring a lot of stuff out. I think where this is really important from conversations that we had last year on the Junior Canyon fire, it's going to be the closest federal agency to respond regardless of the land ownership status. And what I hear is they're trying to have conversations on what that means for us. Right, the conversations that we're in Department of who responds. That's going to be really important. Unfortunately, I don't know exactly where agreements or those conversations are at status-wise, but be a lot of lessons learned and a lot more to come.
There.
Are you aware there is a new RFPDA
And you're-
in this area?
I was not aware. Thank you.
You should be, because it borders probably 5 miles of your property, or more, actually. Well, and then the joint agency, it'd even be greater. But because of the Juniper fire that was established. Chelsea, can we make sure that we get Randy and Sarah hooked up through? Yeah, I think it's important that I thought that there was somebody at the meeting from BLM, but I could be.
They might be. They sometimes let me in on conversations.
But you're gonna
But
be
most of the time-
you're gonna be the agency representative to that group. Okay.
I was just wondering, are those conversations moving ahead that you were talking about?
They should be. But
Okay.
again, now that we've jokingly called a loving divorce, again, we're almost lockstep, but they're having a lot of conversations as far as what their budget looks like, all of these agreements. Are we keeping what we already have established? Do we need to move forward with the new authorities on establishing new agreements for this? So,
Okay.
So who,
but I can get you people.
Okay.
Brent Meisinger is going to be
Yeah.
our unit chief. He's down in Vail. His assistant fire and fuels management officer, Dave LaChapelle, he's
Yeah.
usually the one that I'm.
Yeah, I know both those
contacting.
guys. So who say if we have the same deal as Juniper last year, obviously the RFPD would take control of that at this
Initially.
point. Well, unless it was on BLM to start with. So I don't,
Yeah.
so would you be if I get a call, are you who I call? Or do I call Brent?
Probably want to call Brent, but you're more than welcome to call me.
Okay.
We're gonna just be playing three-way phone game.
And also we'll want our emergency manager in the loop, so I'll make sure that Sage gets hooked up with you too, because that'll be important.
I'm going to ask a question, but I'm not going to ask you. I'm going to ask the people behind you this question. Karen, Justin, do you know who to contact? I mean, does this affect you at all, or is this?
For the RFPA, yeah, it'd be a Randy Brock.
No, I'm on BLM stuff.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, for any response, we would normally contact Blue Mountain Interagency Dispatch. Who would then contact state.
Just making sure that didn't change.
I think one more thing to know, especially when it comes to the Blue Mountain Dispatch, because it's Forest Service run. This is going to be really interesting because the Forest Service didn't merge. The Forest Service still had their fire people.
Fire agency, yeah.
Yes, and so I'm trying to figure out because I know again Juniper Canyon. We talked to Eric Wattrue this far. They usually respond for us as far as initial attack.
Yeah. Other being, oh, go ahead.
Sorry, I just wanted to also add that I've been also attending meetings, and so all
Figured. I want to make sure. That's why I say it a lot. And I said a lot of question marks. Lastly, I will note that our office is going to go through one more move. I spoke about this last time. We lost our lease in Baker City, so we moved in with our National Historic Interpretive Center colleague. It's been great, lovely views. We love having conversations with people that come up to visit us. It's just a little bit too tight. I can't house all of my staff at one time. We've had to force folks to our work, but we are looking to move into the Wheeler building with the Forest Service and the post office in Baker City. So if you come to visit, we'll do a one-stop shop for you guys, make it more convenient. Hopefully that'll be happening.
Exciting. That'll be really good for you guys.
Too bad you
Views aren't as
couldn't have
good.
stayed at the interpretive center. Yeah.
Yeah, those views aren't near as good as where you're at now.
No, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The trails are very nice to walk at lunch.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I bet. Let's see a lot of people. Anything else, Sharon?
That's all I have. You won't have questions for me.
Haven't we asked you enough?
Just want to make sure.
Thank you, Sarah. And we really do appreciate you coming.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, the next item on the agenda today is the Public Works Purchase Power Broom.
Good morning, Commissioners. Tom Fellows, Public Works Director. So what we have before the board today is the ability for us to go purchase a new power broom from Pape Equipment. This will be an upgrade to our fleet. We're going to flush out one of our older units. Tends to give us a little more complication, hopefully, than the new one would. This is a source of low purchase. And the broom is actually available right now. The cost of this broom is $69,500, which is about $3,000 more than we paid for the last one 5 years ago. Not a bad deal.
I remember the one over 5 years ago when that one was. We had conversations about what to do with the old brushes. I think there was a commissioner who wanted them for his pasture for cows.
Yeah, yes, some people want to snag those for their.
They work well.
Yes, they do.
Other comments? Wishes of the board?
I move approval of purchase from Pape Machinery in an amount of $69,500.
Second.
Then a motion and a second. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Uh-huh. Next item is the Evanwright dispatch.
Morning, Commissioners and staff. I'm here to request approval for our co-joint recording system, which one is Eventide. It is held and serviced by GoCirco, which has been a longstanding salesperson for us. They're awesome. They are giving us a killer deal, to be honest. They've offered up to 25% discounts for early adoption. This is not going to be a RFP issue. It was merely an upgrade. And then the component for the AI piece of it is the new add-on addition. So what this will entail is it will upgrade our current system. Overall, the total infrastructure will modernization both dispatch centers and serve them, and it is mandated by the state of Oregon that we have a recording system. Further, the upgrade regarding the QA and the QI will be AI generated for both agencies, cutting down staff time. Wow. It's going to be pretty phenomenal. The other piece of it is Morrow County does not currently have any kind of a QA or QI program in place. And so the system, because we share it, we're going to be able to plagiarize ours, put in their own information, and be able to do whatever kind of QA they need. So it's going to be a bonus for both sides. And I say a bonus for us as well, because a lot of times we have requirements for our dispatchers to have so many calls of a certain type. Well, if you're on graveyard at 3 o'clock in the morning, you're probably not going to get anything like a cat call or something like that. I'm just using that as an example. But those calls that you need to have at least 5 to be signed off on your field training manual, and also our internal field training manuals. So this system will allow us to create those calls, let them listen to it, and we'll be able to sign them off. So that's another bonus. We don't have to have somebody waiting for 6 months down the road to have that taken care of on their manual. The cost of the AI is going to be based on the 911 calls for service. We had roughly 122,000 calls last year, I believe, for the 911 piece of it for our agency. Morrow County had 55,001 or something like that. So we decided that we needed to be equitable and do a 70-30% split for that AI component piece. So you'll see in the documentation that there are, over the life of that contract, those split at that negotiated price. Also, they are willing to, GoCirco is willing to wait and after the billing cycle, because we weren't sure about the budget that just got approved. Thank you very much. So basically, they also offered us a discount on the warranty over the 5 years. They gave us a lot of good kudos for things that were beneficial for both. Morrow County approved this at their last VOC meeting. I believe those notes are with that as well. So what this looks like is our total cost is going to be $226,679.55. Maybe a few more cents than that. There was some rounding up that needed to be done. And Morrow County's portion will be $161,495.55.
Of the 267?
Actually, the total cost of the life of the contract is going to be $388,325.84, and that's over the 5 years. And they split the invoices for us, so we will be responsible for our half, and Morrow County will pay theirs directly to GoCirco. The other factor that I wanted to bring to your attention, they offered us a warranty this year. It was roughly between $15,000 for 1 year, and I think that last year we went and it was $13,500. I got the request for that, sat on it for a couple days, and then got notified from our GoCirco rep that, oh, by the way, the components are no longer available, they're not being manufactured. So I did not think that was fiscally responsible to pay for a warranty where we weren't going to have parts available. So I passed on that. but we are out of warranty technically at the end of this month. So I'm requesting approval for the $226,679.55 ish from you. And I stand for any questions.
And you did say that Morrow County already approved theirs,
They
correct?
did at the last budget.
Okay, I just wanted to
Yep, they
clarify
did.
on that one, yeah.
And I hope Nick included the documentation in there for that.
Yeah, it's in.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Commissioner Timmons?
I don't have any questions.
The question I have, you mentioned 150,000 calls that throughout the quote, it is on a 0 to 50,000.
So that is the next tier level. I apologize for not mentioning that. They have different tier levels. So if we go above that 150,000 total between the two entities, then we'll have to add more, they called it a server stack piece of it. We talked to them about that. We looked out for the 5 years. We don't anticipate going over that between the two of us. Obviously, if Morrow County only had 5,000, I don't think they're going to go up.
I guess so the base is 150,000.
That's where that starts out at, yes. I'm sorry, 50, I believe it's 50,000. I think it's 50,000. And then it goes from 0 to 50,000 and then the next tier up. That's all been included into where we would be between the two agencies. What it boils down to is Go Circuit is not anticipating us being close to that in that time frame.
So between the two agencies, we're less than 130,000 now, correct?
That's correct.
Yeah.
It still goes, but they're given, so the 0 to 50 is the base.
Correct.
Okay, and you're saying they're giving you additional on top of that?
Yes, we talked to
So
them.
that's not in the quote. So.
Well, we discussed with them about what that would look like as far as how many calls for service for 911 that would play into a factor. They anticipated that we wouldn't need to go above 50,000 for us. I believe that's how it worked.
I think the number for a base is only off of 911 calls.
My
Okay,
apologies,
that's-
yes.
So the 122 is
different
like
number.
business
Okay.
lines.
that makes more sense.
You know, the business lines and the 911 has reached right
Yeah.
around 144 last year. So
Okay.
I apologize.
And
That's
the-
my
and the
mistake.
911.
Yeah,
30.
right, but the business lines is closer
Sorry,
to one. Yeah.
doesn't say anything.
And then do you know what it costs or what happens if you do go over that?
We did not discuss that at that point. I don't think we gave us a quote.
Sorry, this question.
He wanted to know what, if we went above that, what it would be.
I'm not sure.
I don't
Okay.
think we did.
Thank
We'd be
you.
in a whole world of hurt. We'd be in a whole world of hurt.
We'd
Be a lot of calls coming in.
Yeah.
Right.
Wishes of the committee. Any other comments?
No, I'm
Wishes.
pretty familiar with it, and I would move approval.
I'll second. I do have a question or just a comment. The AI component, can you talk a little bit about that?
It self-generates calls for service. With our QA and QI, what that will mean is it will actually listen to the calls done by the dispatcher. We have built-in criteria for our calls and our standards, and it will critique that and make sure that either that dispatcher met those minimum standards, exceeded that, or give ideas for training to make it so that it's better next time. Right now, currently, our dispatch supervisors are doing that by hand, and it's very time.
Mm-hmm.
And they're also still working the desk, and they're trying to do that when they have time off of the desk, which is not very much. However, with that being said, we've been sitting between 95 and 97% percentile of accuracy. So that's what that will do automatically. Again, taking that off of our plate, and that way we can have them do more of what their role is, which is to supervise staff. And then also, like I said, it will can auto-generate and create those calls that we don't get very often, once in a blue moon. And those, we have a minimum, most of our calls for signing off on the book, at least 5 of those.
And sometimes it could be, well, we get 5 of those calls. Yeah.
The other thing about Go Circle that we really like is how easy it is. I'm sure Commissioner Tabor can attest to this one. You know, where it sucked. It's very difficult to maneuver. If you had to cut out certain things for a agency or for the attorney, because one call would run right into the next. It was very time consuming. It's not that way with the new system.
Thank you.
We have a motion and a second on the table. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
All right,
Next.
thank you very much.
Next is,
glad it wouldn't-
don't go away.
I'm just glad it wasn't taking my calls when I was taking calls.
I'm getting it prepped.
Hmm.
Practice.
Morning, Commissioners. Justin Russell, Lieutenant for the Sheriff's Office Dispatch. And I'm here this morning to talk about the Aurelian call taking system that we'd like to implement for approval for the purchase. We've been exploring different AI options to handle our non-emergency line call taking. And what this system does is it provides a conversational AI agent so that when somebody calls in on the non-emergency lines, they can just talk to it just like a person, and it will give them answers as far as what they're seeking. Dispatchers currently take all of those calls live, and so there's no buffer. So if they have something big going on and the non-emergency lines are still ringing, they still have to answer those as quickly as they can. So that adds a lot of pressure and stress onto our folks. But this will divert a lot of those calls into a system that will automatically handle a lot of them. Submit a number of calls to the company, and they did an analysis on those, and they can handle up to 74% of them for us, which will never through dispatch. Take a lot of call load off of our folks, and hopefully reduce their stress level. So there's two pieces to the system. The first one is what I've been talking about, the AVA portion of it, where it monitors the non-emergency lines and takes care of those calls. Can answer questions for people. It can text them a link to a resource. Let's say they call in and they have a question about how to obtain a concealed handgun license. It can automatically send them a link to the county website where they can take care of all that. So that call is diverted from dispatch having to explain the process to them, and that takes that off the dispatcher's plate. And so then the other portion of it is called Cora, which is a new module in the system. And what that does is it monitors a 911 call that a call taker is on, and it will pop up what's called a heads-up display on their screen. And specific to that call, whatever information is being obtained on that call, it monitors it, and it will pop up questions the dispatcher needs to ask. Let's say it's a domestic in progress, it'll remind the dispatcher to ask about weapons or injuries, things like that. Which takes a lot of the what we call cognitive load off of the dispatcher to have to try to remember all that in the moment.
I was just gonna, so if I'm on a 911 call, that pops up as a HUD on another pop-up window.
Correct.
What if I'm on a 911 call and she takes a business call that's related to the 911 incident I'm dealing with? Will that pop up? Will that generate on my screen, or how does that?
I don't believe so, and I should say I do have Randy Dirks with Aurelian here today. He's the subject matter expert, so he can maybe answer that question. I think they're separate systems at this point.
Yeah, so if one dispatch.
Come on up and give us your name and address, please. Thank you.
Yep, no problem.
Welcome.
Thank you. So my name is Randy Dirks. I live at 1307 Fuji Way in Richland, Washington, 99352.
Thank you.
And I believe your question was, if you're taking a 911 call, one console, and someone else is taking a business call on another one, it will not pop up on your screen. It's not going to interrupt. You're able to keep focused on your.
Even if it's related to the same incident?
If it's related to the same incident, it's not going to notify you that, hey, there's another call coming in related to this.
There is, as far as the non-emergency side, there's a live dashboard that the dispatcher can monitor, and it provides transcripts of the call and any calls that are coming in at the moment. So they could be monitoring that, and if they hear a 911 call come in that's related, similar to what we do now.
Yeah.
You know, we just do it locally right now, but it would be
On a
same,
dashboard.
same kind of scenario.
Okay.
So, yeah. So that's any questions for me about the?
What are the negatives? I mean, you're running it in other agencies right now, correct?
Yeah.
How many agencies are running it?
So we're live at about 35 agencies, and we've got another 15 that we're implementing. So Tri-Cities is live. Moses Lake, Washington, which is Grant County, Washington, MAC 911, they call themselves. They've been live for over 2 years on the AVA component, and they were really the first in the country to go live.
Don't take this the wrong way. I'm a huge proponent of this. I think this is phenomenal. I've talked with Justin and Karen, or the lieutenant and captain, and they've walked me through a lot of this, and I'm very impressed. But I'm just kind of curious, if I were to see one of those dispatchers from another agency running it, and I said, "What's the worst thing that you don't like about it?" What would their answer be?
I don't know if you asked that to CCOM.
We absolutely did, and there wasn't a negative, other than the phones weren't ringing as much as it was used to, and that was what they all said. And they were literally in the room trying to beat each other to get to the phone. And it has eliminated so much stress and so much anxiety for them. And they're able to be more focused on their field responders, but also those calls that are intricate, as you know. The other piece is I need you to put you on hold for a second because I have to dispatch this out kind of thing, because we're going to be able to stay with those people start to finish. And it's going to alleviate that much more disconnect that we've been experiencing. So that was their complaint.
I don't know if I'd call that a complaint. But yeah, no, thank you. That answered my question.
And did you want to talk
Yeah.
about who's gone live in Oregon?
Oh, yeah, well, and I will talk about that. Quick story about MAC 911. So they went live in April of 2024. And every year the dispatchers vote on dispatcher of the year. And they voted for Ava. But since Ava is ineligible to win an award because she's a robot, there was actually a winner, human winner. But it was really cool to see the dispatcher voting for Ava to be dispatcher. So the dispatchers love
That story should be at the top of your sales material.
Yes, a couple of things I also want to go back and mention is that, and the main reason for this is that, we've had a real staffing issue for the last several years. This is a system that will provide the things that new hires would provide, but they never call in sick. They answer within seconds. There's never a busy signal. So this really can take the place of some call takers that we would like to hire, but haven't been able to. So, and with our call for service increase, for law enforcement and fire EMS, they just continually go up and up and up. And so that means that there's a higher demand on our folks on the radio side of things, because they're always juggling the phone and the radio. And so as both of those things increase, that just means their attention is split more and more and more. And so being able to really pay attention to either your officers or your ambulance crews who are out in the field is pretty major. That's a pretty major officer safety thing. So to take some of this off their plate is a pretty
And be more
great
attentive
thing
to
for
the
our-
field units.
Exactly. Yeah. And 911s.
Yeah, sure.
When you are on a 911 and you have the phone constantly ringing in the background,
It's stressful.
trying to hurry up and
Yeah.
get off. You might not get the information that you need to get on a 911 call, so that'll reduce some of that. So also wanted to mention that we are exploring some other funding options, maybe to try to alleviate some of the load on the financial side through some grants.
And also, we've gotten great support from our law enforcement and fire agencies about this.
I have
They
no doubt.
totally understand that where our focus is divided, and they would really appreciate it a little bit more if we were able to accommodate that better.
So, is it Needle or is it Aurelian? What?
Needle is the LLC, the company name.
Okay.
Aurelian is the DBA.
Okay, gotcha. Mr. Chair, I would move to approve.
Can I say one thing, John? Sorry.
Yep.
I wanted to let Randy tell you who had gone live in Oregon. In the
Oh, yeah,
process, if that's
yeah.
okay.
So
'Cause that's
Willamette,
impactful.
yeah, Willamette Valley Communications
Yeah.
Center, they cover 3 counties, Marion County.
I've been in their center.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's Salem, Oregon. They went live the first part of March. Extremely happy customer. And WACA, you know.
Been in
what
that center as well.
WACA is?
Yep.
Washington County,
Yep.
Oregon. They go live next week. So you're not gonna be the first state.
The only question I have, you said you talked to the other agencies. Have you talked to the clients, the other city managers, and let them know that? In the user
It
group?
was discussed in a,
But
budget
Budget
or
meeting,
financial
um,
meeting last year, I
I
want to
believe
say,
it was last
which is
year.
where this kind of originated.
It did.
Most of those folks were in that meeting.
Yeah, I was at that.
Oh, yeah, that's right, yeah.
It was,
Have we had one since then?
we haven't had a financial meeting that way, but what we've been doing is letting our partners, we've been doing law enforcement meetings every quarter, and we've been laying like I said, the groundwork and asking them to take it back to their people and say, hey, by the way, this is where we would like to go. And then the fire, we're doing at least every month, and great support. In fact, if you remember in that meeting, it was Chief Baker, who worked at MAC, who brought it forward and said, why aren't we doing this already? But as far as with those financial people, no.
I would suggest that we get one of those scheduled
Okay,
sooner than later. I love the program, as you know,
Right.
I've been a cheerleader from day one, so.
Yeah, I think it's huge. I have one last question. If we say yes today, how soon before this is up and running in Umatilla County?
So if you're able to sign a contract in June, that helps a lot, because budget year of July 1, we've got a ton of agencies lined up. And so it depends on the backlog for implementation. But if it were in June, we can get you ahead of all that. So you would kick off probably 4 to 5 weeks after contract signing, and you would be live 6 to 8 weeks. And this isn't like a CAD that takes 2 years to implement.
Yeah.
Just the down, is it software or is it
It's software,
software loaded or software cloud?
cloud. There's a hardware component for Cora that we send you a computer basically, and so that it can.
So it transfers. Got it.
Yeah.
And does that talk to our current CAD system well? I mean,
We've
Yeah,
got
there's
CAD.
no
Everyone
basis.
has a separate driver.
yeah,
It can even post calls for service.
Created a call for service.
we haven't gone there yet, but
There's a lot of customization
Yeah.
to
that was a concern I had when I heard Cora.
not,
So
not yet.
yeah,
no.
okay.
But the only thing is with the software loaded cloud, we're not gonna have to have as much IT interface either.
Well, and this is a managed service, so we're your system admins.
Yeah. So,
Okay.
You can have experts on your staff, but you don't.
Yeah.
And literally, that was another factor that that county brought up is they needed something done like that, and 20 minutes later, because the guys in Seattle that would service us, it was all done.
Wow. Well, Mr. Chair, I would move to approve of the proposed contract with Needle Incorporated.
Second.
been a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you, guys. Yeah,
I wanna
thanks-
see
thanks
it.
for visiting.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next item on the agenda is the IMESD care. Ah, of course.
Kim's going to present.
Good morning.
Good
Kim Beck,
morning.
Human Services Director. I hear you guys have some questions.
Mhm. Maybe you could just,
Field and field.
yeah, maybe you could just go through and talk about the updated MOU and,
So this is actually an updated intergovernmental agreement between the county and IMESD, Intermountain ESD. Several years ago, a partnership was created for IMESD to actually employ a care specialist. That
and then partner with the county care program. So over that time, the position has morphed. At one point, it was actually stationed here at the courthouse in the office, and there was some supervision going on, and basically they just functioned as the county staff, even though IMESD was their payroll. Over the years, due to lack of interest in building, people wanting the job because of some pay differentials with what the ESD offers, along with a grant that IMESD got with Department of Human Services Self-Sufficiency Office. It's kind of shifted to Milton Freewater to be housed at Milton Freewater. And so over this last person who was hired, we provided little to no, we don't provide any supervision, we provide partnership. And the ESD, Eric Ogler, is the supervisor. We work closely with him. And it's a great partnership. I think a lot of that has to do with the person who is in the position. And if that changed, I would recommend having some at this point. So the main pieces of this is we don't supervise this person, and the county provides a vehicle, and the ESD reimburses us on an annual basis. The cost of that vehicle has not exceeded the amount of reimbursement even close at this point, but if it did exceed it, they have agreed they would pay any additional costs. So the county is out no money. And then if there is an accident or any of that, and the other legal stuff, but that's basic.
Thank you, Kim. Thank you.
Great explanation. Other comments?
No, I move.
Wishes of the board?
Yeah, I move to approve the intergovernmental agreement between Umatilla County and Intermountain ESD concerning care specialists.
Second.
Been a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you, Kim.
Okay, thank you.
AWERE Grant. And there comes the AWERE chair.
Good morning, Commissioner Bob Walder, Community Development Director, and also serve as the AWERE Committee. The item before you is a action to allocate the remaining AWERE program funds to City of Athena and their pool repair project. So our AWERE Committee met on May 20th and made this recommendation. We have roughly $30,000 in the AWERE account. There is one entity that we're still trying to close out their grant, and that's with the Weston Cemetery District. The proposal from the AWERE Committee was to distribute the remaining AWERE program funds and close out the AWERE program since the program is sunsetting. More funds will be received after this year. So the other thing I'll add is since the program's inception in 2003, we've been able to award over $2.3 million to the Athena and Weston communities for things like school projects, community projects, profits that have benefited from this program. So it's been tremendously successful.
I drove by the Athena Elementary the other day, and there was a track meet going on, and you could see like different schools had their pop-up tents and the logos and everything, and I thought, if it wasn't for AWERE, that track would not be there. Right. And so
yeah, we were the Athena Weston School District recently held the district track championships.
That's probably when I drove by. So yeah.
It's pretty amazing, actually.
Well, Mr. Chair, I'd move to adopt Order BCC 2026-031.
Second.
Got a motion in the second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you very much,
Thank
Bob.
you. I believe I have the next few.
You want to hang around?
Yeah.
Do you want to, or do you need to? Next item is the a letter to sanitary disposal to clarify the conversation from the work session of May 18th.
Yeah, so you'll recall during that May 18th work session where we discussed the rate increase proposal from sanitary disposal. One of the things that came up was the topic around a drive-in fee. And that item is not currently listed on the fee schedule for sanitary disposal. So there was a robust discussion on that. And since it is not listed explicitly on the fee schedule, this would be non-compliant with the county's solid waste ordinance, which requires franchises to list all the fees that they're charging as part of their service, and this would be approved by the commissioners. So there's been a letter that's been prepared to send to sanitary disposal. I believe they're aware of the letter, and Kevin Miracle is on the call today and can probably answer some additional questions should you have any. But basically the letter states that since the drive-in fee has not been authorized, commissioners are requesting that these additional fees not be charged to the customers until agreement. And then we'd also like to have some more discussion and further clarify service from county roads. The discussion work session. So with that,
Yeah.
I'll turn it back over to you.
First of all, Bob, thanks for being proactive on this. And I also want to thank Kevin Miracle and Waste Connections. From what I understand, that they've been proactive on making sure that those charges have been corrected. And I think that's a great step forward. But Kevin, do you want to add anything?
Yeah, I have a 4-hour presentation ready if you guys are ready.
Let her rip.
So, yeah, just to give you guys a little bit of background, I know that it's been a little bumpy for me on this, but just kind of clear some stuff up. So when Waste Connections acquired Sanitary Disposal Inc., there were 3 customers paying for a walk-in service at that time. Today, we have 26 true walk-ins, and an additional 54 were affected by what was labeled as a walk-in, but actually a drive-in service. All 54 of those customers are in the process of being credited back. We've been calling it a walk-in. It's essentially an access-based cost. So we are rectifying that, and I will go through the proper procedures to attempt to get approval on a different version of that. I'd just like to follow up, over the past years, my team has done everything we can to strengthen this operation. We moved from 4/10s to a 5/8 schedule. We reduced driver hours, cut fuel and maintenance costs, and pushed for efficiency where we could find it. Even with that effort, we are still not financially stable under the current rate structure. If a vote isn't taking place today, I would respectfully request an executive session to review our financials in detail and provide full transparency into this request. The remaining 14% is what brings sanitary disposal closer to an industry standard for operations in Umatilla County. I also want to emphasize this. I know a lot of people get on Facebook because they're, a bunch of keyboard warriors. I think it's important to remember that my team lives in this community. They raise their families here, and they care deeply for the people that they service. And I know I can speak for all of them when I say that we are proud to be a part of this community. And I know we get pigeonholed into being the big gorilla on the block, but we're all local people doing our thing to make sure that our business is also successful while providing a very serious service for the community.
Thanks, Kevin. What we have before us right now is the letter. What's the wishes of the?
I just want to clarify, if I could, Mr. Chair, under the second bullet point, it says drive-in service fees.
Yeah.
does that, and I think Kevin touched on this, is it also a walk-in, and I think I heard Commissioner Timmons refer to it as a lane fee. Does it encompass all of those other possible loophole? I don't want to get snagged in the loophole, I guess is what I'm trying to get at.
The one, I think the two things that the letter really addresses, and Bob touched on them, is the drive-in fee and the county roads discussion that needs to
Right.
take place. The walk-in fee is a different discussion. And I think that'll get wrapped up into it, but at this point, there is a set fee for the walk-in. And I'm assuming that anybody that requests a walk-in, you get a letter of request from that customer. Kevin, is that?
Yeah, they'll call and ask, and then we'll, make sure that it's safe for us to get in there. But yeah, most of those are all good to go.
Okay.
What about lane fee? Because I think Commissioner Timmons talked about the lane fee going into effect in the 90s, is that?
That's what I was told.
I'm not sure.
So I believe that terminology is used by a different franchise. So each franchise kind of has their different, they have a different fee schedule, each one does, and probably a little bit different terminology. When I talked to Kevin earlier this week, his prior experience was in a different area, and they use drive-in fee and walk-in fee. They're synonymous, basically. And so I think what the commissioner's letter is asking is for clarification around that. And since they already have the walk-in fee listed on the franchise fee schedule, that if they would like to do the charge for drive-in service, which would be driving down a driveway with the garbage truck and picking up the trash, that would need to be listed on their fee schedule as a separate.
And not just driveway, but
walk-in.
But like private roads and the like, right?
It's a huge discussion.
That's gonna need to have more discussion because there is a large amount of sanitary disposal service territory that is either follows these are adjacent to a public road, which is not a county road. It's just a road that's open to the public, or private drive as well. There's a large number of those.
Or state highways.
Yeah, what about a state highway? Like if I live on 395 or 207, do I have to take my garbage can to a county road?
Yeah, so
That's all gotta be part of the
I think
discussion.
that what this letter is asking for is for further discussion.
Okay.
Which is the board need a motion in a second. Or not.
I move to authorize chair to sign and send letter to sanitary disposal.
Second.
And there's been a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Next item is
And Commissioner, just to close the loop on that.
Yeah.
I will reach out to Kevin and we'll look at scheduling the next work session. I know the June calendar is filling up, so we want to make sure we try and get that scheduled. All right. The next item I have before you is solid waste disposal franchise renewals. We do these each year with the franchises. In Umatilla County, we have 3 disposal franchises that we would like to renew. The Solid Waste Advisory Committee met April 14th and recommended approval of Health and Sanitary Service, Sanford & Son LLC, doing business as Humbert Refuse, and Waste Connections of Oregon, doing business as Sanitary.
which is the board.
I see there's 3 different
Yeah.
orders.
There's 3 different orders, one that applies to each franchise, so those will need to be adopted.
Separate motions, yeah. First one, 23 is which one?
2026-02.
They're in order.
They're in order, okay.
Also in your packet is the application as well as the certificate of liability insurance for each franchise.
I saw that.
Part of the requirements.
Mr. Chair, I move to adopt order BCC 2026-023.
Second.
Been a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you.
Move to adopt order BCC 2026-024.
Second.
Been a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
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 I move to adopt order BCC 2026-025.
Second.
Been a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion's carried. Thank you.
Still up, Bob.
So the next item is for collection franchises. So those are separate from function of a disposal franchise. We have 4 in Umatilla County: Eastern Oregon Waste Management, LLC, Pendleton Sanitary Service, Inc., Sanford and Sons, LLC Business and Humbert Refuse, and Waste Connections of Oregon doing business as sanitary disposal. 4 separate orders.
I clicked on it and got a server error message, so.
I move to adopt order number BCC 2026-026.
I'd second it.
Got a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. I just got it.
I move to adopt order number BCC 2026-027.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye. I move to adopt order number BCC 2026-028.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
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 I move to adopt order number BCC 2026-029.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Next
I
item.
have one more. This is to revisit the rate increase request we received from Pendleton Sanitary Service. You might recall at the May 20th Commissioners meeting, this was before you. Unfortunately, there was some information that I wasn't able to provide response to. It dealt with a mileage charge that was on the rate schedule for sanitary. Unfortunately, I didn't know the answer to the question that was being asked, and so I've invited Denise Hodgson, the Pendleton Secretary, to provide some clarification around that. But basically, what's before you is a proposal for a 3% rate increase that's consistent with the Consumer Price Index, also consistent with the rate increase that they asked for from City of Pendleton that was approved. And so this was recommended for approval at the April 14th Solid Waste Advisory Committee meeting. And that caused us to post the notice in the paper for the required 14-day notice period. There were no remonstrances received during that period, so it was put to the Board of Commissioners for approval. That, I'll take any questions, or if you could invite the franchise up here, we can do that.
Either way, can have a further explanation on the added area.
Yeah.
How that works.
Denise, would you like to come up here and talk about the mileage? I think the question was, all customers get charged the mileage if they're outside of city limits or UGB, or is it just certain deliveries?
So no, not all customers get charged the mileage fee. The mileage fee was designed for people who live 14 miles out, order a drop box service for one-time use, and the mileage is charged.
So everyone would pay the same rate regardless if they live 20 miles out or 5 miles out. The residential service, their rates would be the same.
So that's strictly a drop box.
It is, yes.
It's not,
Yeah.
not if I have to run.
It's not in residential service. No.
So, yeah, so you have to run out and replace a can or something.
Yeah.
I wonder if there's a way to make that clear in the have smarter commissioners, I don't know, one or the other. But, Yeah.
Who's he talking about?
Anyway, I thank you for the explanation.
I just want to make a comment on Pendleton Sanitary Service. The last time it was before me that you were here was in 2020, and you asked for a 2.6% increase. 21 through 24, no significant hikes at all that you asked for. No increases in 25. And you're here.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but the only year that we didn't was 2020.
Huh? You did not ask for an increase in 2020? You did?
We did not,
Yeah, you did not.
but we did in 21, 22, 23, 24. We did not.
Did you ask for just a nominal increase in
Yeah, just the
21?
regular.
Okay,
Theirs is tied to the CPI.
okay. And then 26, you're asking for a 3% increase. Okay. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Wishes of the board?
Let's see.
Mr. Chair, I move approval of the proposed rate.
For Pendleton Sanitary.
Yes.
Second, yeah.
Second, there's a motion and a second. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. Thank you, Commissioner. Thank you. Next is just the acceptance of the rejection for the SAR building, or for the quote, not for the money. Money back.
Probably could have stated better than that.
Wishes of the board?
Yeah, I move to reject the proposals and authorize reissuance of requests for proposals for construction of a building to house emergency vehicles.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, thank you. Wolf Creek depredation, payment. Want me to, you guys are doing?
I can answer some questions on it, but you're probably, it's just payables for, wolf depredation losses. I think this is just the direct one.
This is part of the first year of the new formula. The formula authorizes up to 5 times, well, it depends on which animals, but basically 5 times the market value of the animal to be paid, covers stress, loss of other animals, those type of things. We did not receive enough money to cover all of that, but we did receive enough money to cover market value of these animals, and that's what's before you now.
Mr. Chair, would you like to make that motion?
I would. I'd move to approve the grants payable for 6 producers for the livestock losses through the wolf depredation program.
Second.
And motion and second, all those in favor, say aye.
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 Thank you. Fight for more money.
Amen to that.
Which actually will come with the addition of the transient, the portion of the
TLT.
wildlife of the transient. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yep. Your contract amendment.
So this is an amendment to the current Knerr contract to include, kitchen and a hood. For the project.
Mr. Chair, I'd move to approve of the amendment to contract with Knerr Construction to include 2 additional upgrades for a total cost of $45,960.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you, guys. Again, that CDBG. Next is fair purchase. Hispanic man, because I can't say it. It's easier trying to pronounce it.
So this is a contract and approval of contract for entertainment for Saturday, August 15th for the fair, in the amount of $15,000.
I'm looking at you. Your daughter's a Spanish teacher.
She is.
so, yeah.
She is. I was just thinking that.
Wishing she was here
I'm
when you here.
wishing she was here. That's true. I move to approve the band for Locus Del Rancho. I'm sure I'm saying that wrong.
Perfect.
Payments, anyway, for the band for Saturday night for the fair.
Thank you. Been a motion and
Second.
and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
item on the agenda is the the UCSO sale of vehicles.
Welcome. Good morning, Commissioners. Josh Roberts, Lieutenant Criminal Division at the Sheriff's Office.
LT.
Before I speak on the specific vehicle, I just want to give some financial context. I recently sold a nearly identical Ford Explorer on the open market and got about $3,700. I think it was $3,750 is what it was going for. It costs about $1,200 to decommission these vehicles. I'm sorry, $600 to decommission these vehicles. Before you today is a 2019 Ford Explorer that actually has some additional upgrades. This is our first canine vehicle, and so it's got all the canine equipment in it. And it costs about $1,200 to decommission this vehicle. I ran a Kelly Blue Book on it, and if it was, this is a police interceptor vehicle, so Kelly Blue Book doesn't Blue Book police cars, just to throw that out there. So I do my best guess. I take the lowest Ford Explorer options with the fewest options and fair market value, and that's kind of my starting point for where the value might lie. And so this one, I'm estimating is about $6,000 to $8,000 on a good day. I can tell you that right now we're about 30% less this year than we were in the fall for some reason on each vehicle sale. People just aren't paying as much right now. I give you all that context because I knew that we were not going to get much out of this car if I was to sell it on public surplus. A new seat, I'm sorry, a used seat. There is no back seat, it's a used back seat, about $600. So if we were going to lose value on this car, we could get pennies for it if I tried to sell it on the open market. So hopeful me, I went out to Oregon State Sheriff's and I sent it out statewide to all the sheriff's offices. Asked, hey, does anybody want a canine rig? And I got several inquiries, and Coos County stepped up and said, we'd like to buy it. And they're willing to buy it for $6,000. So it costs about $3,500 in equipment to outfit this with the canine specific equipment. It's about $3,500, and so I think this is actually a really good, fair trade for both Coos County and us, because what we can get on the open market and what we would lose in the equipment, I think that this is really good in my opinion. So I would ask that the board approve the sale of Unit 324 at 2019 Ford Explorer Interceptor to Coos County for the amount of $6,000, and I would stand for questions.
So moved.
I'll second. I just want to make a comment. What a win for Coos County. Yeah, they've had a rough go the last couple of years, so this is wonderful for them. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Great comment. There's been a motion and a second. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Nice work, Joe. The item is the PAP IGA and in.
Same as from yesterday in the work session.
Questions?
I just have a comment. I was wrestling with this one at 2:00 in the morning, and I think the thing that really stands out for me is that that Stepping Stones did a wonderful job of preparing a balanced budget. The city of Umatilla is asking for approximately $150,000 over what their balanced budget is for Stepping Stones. What are they going to do with that money? And then every year, it's a 5% increase if we sign the MOU. Still not knowing exactly what that money is going for. I mean, why are they asking for that amount of money over their balanced budget? So I guess that's one thing, one of my questions. The other thing is that the project Stepping Stones is certainly being, I go to a lot of meetings locally. In fact, yesterday morning I was in a meeting and they definitely use Stepping Stones as an example of something that's being done right. the thing that kind of bothers me a little bit is that, we're not able to move people off property and send them that direction because it doesn't qualify as a place for them to go. And I know it's all wrapped up in legal stuff, but, we're sending them $50,000 for a facility that we really can't use. So, and nothing against the program. Jesselyn and her team do a great job. I know it's just part of the whole
When
thing.
you say we can't use, what do you mean by that?
We can't send folks there. We can't move them off the property.
So are we not sending
You're
people?
just talking about people on Umatilla County property.
No, I'm talking about people out in the county.
They take people there all the time.
So, but yesterday, what Nick explained to us was that, we can't move
He
people
was talking about
along.
Umatilla County property.
Okay.
The properties Umatilla County owns.
Okay, so private landowners, code enforcement can go up and tell them, you need to move along, we have a place for you that you can go.
If there's someone on private property, want there, that's an issue.
That's
for private
trespass.
landowner.
That's trespassage. But local police, sheriffs take people there.
I think HPP has a something in place where they'll transport.
They all of the different. Wishes.
I'd move to approve the signature of the proposed path IGA.
I'll second it. There, now you're out of it. There's been a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
I'm gonna think
Opposed?
about that. It really hasn't changed since 2:00 in the morning.
I'm not waiting till 2 in the
Yeah.
morning.
I know it'll pass, but I'm gonna vote no.
Okay. Motion passes 2-1. Commissioner Timmons opposed. Next item on the agenda is the fee ordinance.
Okay, it's time once again for the annual review of the comprehensive fee ordinance, and there are a few departments that are requesting changes. The first up is coming from the surveyor's office, and the legislature amended the law for the public land conservation fund.
Do we need to go into public hearing for this?
Eventually.
Okay.
I mean, if you want to open it now, that's fine, but.
Didn't want to interrupt, but you were on a roll.
Sorry.
At this time, we'll move out of our regular scheduled Board of Commissioners meeting into a public hearing on June 3rd, 2026.
On the public land conservation preservation fund, this is the amount charged as part of the recording fee. And currently it's $10, and the survey is requesting that be increased to $20. And that is utilized to remonument. GIS, Geographic Information Services, is requesting to increase their research fee for making maps from $75 to $100. And they're also requesting increase in the subdivision review fees based on the number of lots. It's currently $100. It will increase based on the number of lots from 125 to up to. Assessment and Taxation is requesting a new urban renewal district fee to allow them to set off some of their costs. Setting up a new district, and that is $2,500 plus $15. Environmental Health Program is requesting a 10% increase in their fees for most of their fees, except for those charged to school districts and healthcare facilities, that's only a 5%. On the on-site wastewater treatment program, they're requesting a 10% increase on all of the fees. This is in line with the 33% increase that DEQ is increasing. And then there are some adjustments in some of their fees. And then the final request is coming from Community Justice for $15 for their urinalysis to cover their current costs. And land use is requesting to increase fees for their solar and wind projects. The wind would be $1,000 per tower, and renewable solar would be additional $500 per megawatt, in addition to the standard $5,000.
The flat fee.
And this is the first reading for this ordinance.
Any public comments? Any opposed? Hearing none. Favor? Hearing none. Neutral? Hearing none. Comments of the commissioners? Set a date for the second hearing?
Yeah, the proposed date would be the next board meeting, June 17th.
All those
Still in public hearing or?
leaving public meeting, returning to the regularly scheduled Board of Commissioners meeting for June 3rd, 2026. Wishes of the board.
I would move to set our second reading date for June 17th at our 9 a.m. board meeting.
Second.
Motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
All right.
Aye.
Okay.
And that's all, folks. Got through that and like nothing flat. Meeting adjourned. Oh, before I do that, commissioner comments? Commissioner Thomas? Commissioner Schaefer?
Nope.
I do have a comment. I want to applaud the dispatchers for moving forward with the AI. It's a huge step. I felt like I had a pitchfork and pushing at times, but I think it's something that is going to be well received. Maybe hiccups along the way, so I think we need to anticipate that. But I do applaud the dispatchers for moving forward. Karen and Justin did a lot of research, and I'm more than happy to support that.
Yeah, I think it's gonna take a lot of stress off of the dispatchers. So when you're sitting in that chair and you're dealing with one emergency, you got that phone ringing and you're thinking in the back of your head, what am I missing here? And so it's tough. So I'm glad that we did it.
Okay, anything else? Meeting adjourned. Thank you.